it's safe to say that Londo is one of mine, certainly Baz's favorite characters in not only Babylon 5, but I think in science fiction television, really.
In television in general, I think.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
in television in general, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, it speaks well for your sharp cookies, the two of them.
Absolutely, double charm
like
offensive.
Them, I like them. We'll go along with this. We should have a drink later. Talk about things we like. Yeah. Anyway, that's great. Yeah, I thought he was a great character too. What were you going to say, Luke?
I was just going to say that JMS wrote such a rich and complex character in Londo, didn't he? And I'm just wondering what was it like, kind of going through that 5-year journey with Londo, from where he kind of began and what he goes through, and how you approach that.
I can't go talk about the journey until I do start. We were at the pilot there, so I just got to say a word about that. Joe put him in. I always mention this because he's a very clever writer, Joe, and he really understands television. And so he put Londo and all of the characters, really, but Londo was in a particular place. He was stuck in a corner in his life. That made him really attractive to me. He was in a lot of trouble, drinking too much, wasting his days gambling, and great regrets. You remember his speech with Garibaldi about we've become a tourist attraction and all that. So that was a great place to put a character, because a character like that is either going to blow his brains out at the end of the first episode, or he's going to move. You can't stay there long. You're gonna collapse, or you're gonna go out. And obviously with a show, he's going forward. Because they wanted him to be part of the series. So that was it. And then when we started to move out on it, and Joe saw that Andreas and I were really happy to make the transition that he had for both the characters, that Shakar started off in the pilot as such a villain, and in a sense he was the villain of the piece, or a baddie, and Londo was a fool and a clown and a loser, or I don't even know how you people could probably see him better. I saw him as a really trapped individual.
Yeah. And
then Joe was just happy to take us and told us about what this idea that he was going to move them around and give us a chance. He said, look at the Bible if you want and see where they're headed. And, that really made it wonderful. All I can say about television, and I had been on Hill Street, and I've been on a lot of series where I played character. Writers basically take the characters and they fulfill one role for them so that they can write them every week. So you have the nasty neighbor, or the pathetic the bragging wife, or the poor little husband, and the bad little daughter, or however you put the characters, and they leave them there, and so they can write stories about them, and situation comedies. And Joe didn't do that. And from the beginning, he let us know these people are going to change, and that freed us up. I couldn't be happier. I thought, gee, this is great. That I'm not going to stay in one place, and we're just going to watch that character fulfill something in the story. But actually, his life, his movement is going to happen. And Londo's was one of the best. I mean, you guys said it, not me, so it's not really for me to say. But it was quite an arc he went on. It was quite a ride Joe put him on as a character. And what can I say except I looked forward to reading the scripts just as much as the audience cared about it, and I loved it. As I would get the new scripts, I would think, just great. I can't wait to do this. He just kept on rolling out where the character was going to go. It was just fun. It was great fun. One week I would be doing something comedic, next something completely Machiavellian and horrible, and then the great regrets and the tragedy of his character. He added in Veer in a really interesting time because it moved the character away from the comedy, but Stephen was able to keep the comedy alive for us in some ways, but also became a reflection of an alter ego for Londo. you know, would set him. So it was all good. I always have been an actor who loves the writing and know that it's about the writing. I'm an interpreter of work. That's why I mentioned Mom was and the people who inspired me in the seminary. They turned me on to the literature, and that's all I did. JMS came up with all these wonderful ideas, and we just made them walk and talk. You know.
Yeah, I mean.